over here, so we had to put that aside. And Tommy Glavin, Billerica's own, got put into the baseball Hall of Fame. And that's not bad for a start, he's in the spring. You know, and we're moving along on that. So you've had a great year, and I've had a good year here too as well. This is the first year that Billerica's been in the 6th District, and we've had a chance to meet with the town officials, speak with the selectmen and the school committee, meet with the superintendent, went out to the Parker School and saw the great job that's being done there. We've been to the Council on Aging, Fire Department, the Police Department. You know, people have been great. People have been really terrific to us and welcoming to both me and the staff as well, and that we're appreciative of it, because part of what we like to do is try to get as deep into the community as we can. We think we have a lot to offer. You know, the policy is one thing, but constituent services and trying to help our cities and towns is another. So we want people to know where we are, and you can get us on the website, you can get us on the phone, you can drop by the offices. Any way that you want. We Facebook, we Twitter, we whatever. Obviously, I don't. Somebody else does. I do every once in a while. They'll be on my name. Otherwise, you'll see it on that.
We run a class on that.
I'll probably need a class on that. As we were talking about the table earlier, I was saying that all you need to do is bring the 2s and 4-year-olds in. Patrice has a grandson, a 2-year-old grandson. He was visiting, and the 6-year-old grandson was visiting. He's sitting on the couch next to me, and he said, "My friend, he went to Pokemon and he hacked all the games." And I said, "How old's your friend?" He said, 9. I said, "Really?" I said, "So he went on his computer?" He goes, "No, he did it on his phone." I said, "He hacked all the games?" He said, "Yes." And he waited about 3 or 4 beats, and he said, "It's perfectly legal." So apparently he's a lawyer too, so I don't know what's going on with that. So I was a small business person in the sense of a really small business person for over 20 years. I was from the Chamber of Commerce. I was president of it for a while. I advised other businesses. And like a lot of you, maybe, I didn't get any training in business at all when I was in school. I got taught my profession, but they didn't tell me how to run an office, how to build people, how to do all the things in management and operation. So you learn that over time. I learned it from watching others, learned it from my folks in the Chamber and the other organizations I belong to, from my clients, back and forth on that. And probably all of us could use a little help. So I hope you're all taking advantage of Small Business Administration and all that it has to offer. It's got really an incredible array of programs. The regional office is here in Boston, but the Business Development Office is up at the Salem State University Enterprise Center. And if you don't know Christine Sullivan, who runs that program up there, she's terrific. She got it going and offer all sorts of advice, whether it's training, business counseling, whether it's export-import, whether it's government contracts. All of those things, they'll give you advice on counseling and try to work that together. And Christine also started the Creative Economy Group. You've heard of that on that, which is really tremendous. And who was it gave me the card on the singing?
Me,
Julie, right. So, if you're an artist of any sort on that, it's still a business.
Yeah.
And you need all kinds of support. You need to know about healthcare, you need to know about shared office space, communications, advertising, all of those things. So that organization has really grown. They've got 600 or 700 members now.
Now you're talking about the Small Business Administration? Or
the Creative Economy Group that Christine Sullivan put together on that. And now Steve Immerman, who's the president of Montserrat College of Art, is the head of the organization. Christine's going to pass the torch, and he's expanding it. He's a great advocate for STEAM. We got science, technology, engineering, and math. He jams in the A, science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And he speaks with passion and with knowledge about the fact of arts in business. He can go out and convince you of every role that you have in a business, how you need somebody in there with design, whether it's web design or advertising or policy, and getting your message out in different ways, and just goes on and on. He's got a million different ways that it matters. And he's placing kids out of his college all the time. It's a really high-level job. It's really with people that are still resisting, and all that argument is, why should you pay your taxes to help McDonald's with their employee costs? Right? McDonald's was paying people $8.10 an hour, right? And on their website, they were giving instructions to their employees where they could go for Medicaid, where they could go for welfare assistance, or where they could go for housing assistance, public housing assistance. So in essence, public taxpayer is picking up the tab for their employees. And it's not just McDonald's, but there's a ton of corporations out there. We used to have corporations that all believed, we had 3 stakeholders. We had the shareholders, we had the consumer, and we had our workforce who always took care of them. Less and less so today. It's all hiding behind the mask of, I'm going to help my shareholders. There's not a single law in the world, particularly not in this country and not in this state, that says their primary and only concern has to be the shareholders. All right? And you go back to the ethos we used to have, but CEOs get their bonuses now on what the shareholders do. So you can see where it's driving. There's a discussion for another day, but one argument why we still need government in certain situations, somebody's got to smooth out those rough edges when things go to excess. and balance it out, and I think the minimum wage is one area where you can really help out and work on that service. Why don't they put some money in a pool? And then people can pay it, and they'll still get a little bit of interest back, they won't get the outrageous rates, but they'll be doing something to try to clean up their name and their reputation on that basis. So we're working on that with some really good people on that. Center for American Progress, Joe Stiglitz, who's a Nobel laureate, economic economist, who tells us that if we do that and students take advantage of it and write their interest rates down, it will put $14 to $20 billion back in the economy. So it's an economic stimulus as well. So these aren't things that cost the taxpayer anything. In fact, all the things that we did with the Higher Education Act, we didn't charge any more taxes for it. We saved $61 billion. And we did it by taking the middle person out. We used to subsidize lenders for giving student loans as if it wasn't a great market. And then we would guarantee repayment of their loan. So we stopped that, made them direct loans, saved $61 billion, took $10 billion, paid it down to the debt, and put the other back into lowering the interest rates, doing the income-based repayment program, and things of that nature on that. So hopefully that helps families that are in business as well. And I don't want to go on and on and on, but I wrote the Workforce Investment Act, which I think is important to help us get skilled people into our jobs, and make sure if you have a son or a daughter, or you don't want to go to college, then you certainly may need some upgrade on skills, and so we can have our community colleges work with industry, work with employers, employees, and fix out what people need for the credentials to get the job that exists.